Welcome to the instructional video for the C-53W handset. We're going to today talk through some of the basic features and functions of the handset to get you a bit more familiar with it. Firstly, it's worth noting that you can see I've got this phone plugged in today, but the whole of the T50 range allow us to log onto your Wi-Fi, so if you choose to have a completely cable-free phone, then we can provide that for you. The handset is also equipped with Bluetooth, so we can allow you to associate it with your Bluetooth headset to make and receive calls without physically touching the phone at all. Let's start by just focusing on the display. You can see here we have the ability to see 6 other users on the display in front of us, and we have a shift key that allows us to move between 3 screens. So even on the most basic phone in the range, we still have the ability to see 18 other users on the system. Let's start by making and receiving an internal call. If I need to make a call to another user, I can simply press the button and you can hear the phone ringing, they answer, and I'm speaking to the third party. I could have picked my handset up, but for the time being I'm just using hands-free to keep everything nice and simple. Receiving a call in is equally straightforward. Get a call from another extension. Apologies, pressed the wrong button. There we go, and I can answer the phone from the third party, and we're receiving an incoming internal call. So let's try pushing a call in from the outside world and look at how we go about holding and transferring calls. Call comes in, we can see the caller ID of the person who's calling us, and I can pick up the phone to answer the call. If I need to put that person on hold, just press the hold key. I can either keep the handset in my hand or return it to the cradle, and when I'm ready to bring that call back, I just simply press the resume button to retrieve that call, and I'm talking to the end user. Transferring is done equally straightforward. I can just simply press the button of the extension of the person I want to transfer the call to. My call rings their phone. When I'm happy to transfer that call, I just press the transfer key to complete the transfer. I can hang up and move away, and I can see that my other user is on the phone because their light has gone from red to green. Other way around. When they finish on the phone, then we can see they're off the phone because their light just goes back to green. If I tried transferring that call and they didn't want to receive the call at the other end, then again, I would have answered the phone. I would have pressed the button of the person I wanted to transfer the call to. They will have answered the phone, and they would have said they're not available to take the call at the moment, and they would have hung up. And again, I can just press the resume key to bring that call back off hold. So there are your 4 fundamentals. We've made a call, received a call, put a call on hold, and transferred a call. So let's talk through some of the other buttons on the handset. Our call log gives us the ability to look at our last 20 made and received calls. We can scroll down that list, find the call that we want to return, press the OK button or the send button to dial back to that user. We have a directory button that allows us the ability to dial numbers that are regularly needed. We can update a list into the phone system for as many calls as you want, up to something like 2,000, and you can just simply find numbers by managing through the directory. Having said that, using Communicator, I would expect you're going to have your telephone system associated with the computer, and you can select a number off your computer to dial. Next to that, we have the Do Not Disturb key. We can see quite clearly when we're in Do Not Disturb, and whilst we're in Do Not Disturb, while we can still make calls, we can't receive either internal or external calls until we come back off Do Not Disturb. Our menu key will control everything else. That could be brightness of the display, it could be the ringtone, it could be the ring volume. We can navigate into settings, go into our basic settings, and you can see we have date and time and display and sound and everything else you'd expect to see. So I'm going to come back out of that and talk through some of the other keys. We have a mute key over here. Nice and obvious when you're on mute, that will glow bright red, so you'll know you're on mute. Do keep in mind though, when you're on mute, all you're doing is turning the microphone off in the earpiece. That means that whoever you're speaking to is hearing complete silence. If you think you're going to be on hold for more than a minute or so, then I would suggest that you put them on hold while they're hearing your music, so at least they know they're not being cut off. We talked about headsets earlier. We can either use a Bluetooth headset or a cabled headset, and we would answer and cut off calls simply by toggling on the headset button. Underneath that button we have our voicemail.
Please enter your PIN. You have no messages. Press 2 to change folders.
Once we're in our voicemail, we'd navigate voicemail in the same way that we would on our mobile. We can personalise our greeting and also control when people drop into voicemail and when they don't. The button below that is our last number redial button. That will take us into a list of calls that we have placed today. We can simply scroll through, find the one that we want to return, click on either OK or Send to dial that person back. You'll see I've been using this X button throughout the demonstration, and that is the button that allows us just to cancel and go back to home screen. We have our speakerphone button here, which we can just toggle on and off. And paired with our volume control, we can turn the volume control up and down on the speakerphone. If we're using the handset, we can use the same volume control to change our handset volume, and if the phone's ringing, then again we can turn the ringer volume up and down. I hope you found that brief walkthrough of the C-53W handset useful. If you have any questions, then please drop us a line and we'll be happy to answer them.